Tonight's the 10th of Teves, correct? Yeah. Means tomorrow's the fast day. Is it a time of shalom? No. It was a Rabbi gave a share about that, his opinion concerning what's going on today. Let's talk a little bit about the events of today going on. Earlier today, I was passing the King David Hotel. I was walking down King David Street, and as many people know, right next to the King David Hotel, there's the Center for, it might be Reform Judaism, some other stream. And they had quite a few signs outside, protest signs concerning the hostages. Get them back at all costs, return them now, bring them home, the usual slogans. Now, I agree. The those who have been kidnapped by the Hamas need to be returned to their homes immediately, and force should be used in order to make that happen. I disagree with the means. They're basically saying capitulate, surrender, give the bad guys whatever they want. They're totally oblivious, of course, to the obvious problem with doing so. And one of the major problem I saw was on their main gate, they had a very simple sign. The quote from the Rambam, which I myself can't get exactly, it says, "Ein lecha mitzvah gedolah kefidyon shvuim." If I'm not mistaken, something to that extent, that message of Rambam, where he's saying that the redemption of captives, you don't have a greater mitzvah than that. Now, there is no actual thou shalt of the Torah, one of the big 613 redeem thine captives. When the Rambam's saying a mitzvah, he's using it almost like we say in Yiddish. It's a very good deed. It's a very important act of chesed. It's a fulfillment of Wa'afta l'reacha kamocha and charity. It's very important to redeem captives. But like always, they've neglected to also include a critical piece of information. That is, the Rambam continues, and like the sages before him and like the Shulchan Aruch after him, he adds a caveat that you're not supposed to redeem them for more than their going price on the slave market. Certainly not anything exorbitant, because doing so just encourages them to take more captives. And as many have pointed out in the last few months, this is concerning Jews who have been kidnapped, captured in one war, taken to some distant land somewhere else. It's not talking about the enemy during a hot war. The Romans, let's say during the Great Revolt and other battles, should not have been given any sort of assistance, for example, if they had taken Jewish captives at the time. That just strengthens the hand of the enemy during an active war. So, like usual, and this is the hallmark of streams or strains of Judaism, whatever it might be, that go off the derech. They like to seize on a particular principle and ignore the other principles in order to come to a proper understanding of what to do. Halacha tells you which way to go. It's from the word holech. It's actually, even though there's no Hebrew word like that in Tanakh. Haderech yeluchuvah. They have to show them the path upon which they will go. It's Aramaicism, okay? Aramaism, sorry. Hilchatha. So that's translated back into Hebrew as a halacha. The way to go. The way to go is the law, the deen. The deen itself also is it's a Hebrew root, but it's used mostly in Aramaic. The point is, they like to seize on these things, and they don't know the nuance. Also, for example, Tikkun Olam, that's the one they overuse the most. Tikkun Olam usually means something for the good of society. It says the sages made various enactments. They made particular rules for what they consider the good of society. And the problem is people who think more emotionally and also get their left-leaning politics, which are not inherently bad. You could have someone who, over the course of years, has had certain leftist ideas, which are technically fine, or just use extra liberal. But the problem is they seize on tikkun olam. Whatever it is they want to do, whatever they want to enact, change the rules, is for the sake of tikkun olam. And tikkun olam becomes a catch-all. It becomes an end-all, and it becomes a be-all. Whatever they're going to do, even override the Torah itself, because that's considered tikkun olam. So they'll do everything we've seen today under this rubric, suddenly permitting the most detestable abominations of the Torah become tikkun olam. Now you have to, because it's tikkun olam. The world needs it. So that's a very, very big problem. So I got to see this as I was heading southbound. I took a nice long walk today down King David Street, and I saw the sign. I was thinking about that, and then I started getting to neighborhoods, unlike my own, where people tend to be, I guess, less Haredi. Here, thank God, where we live, it's not exactly Haredi, but it's a very frum place. So you go to a place where it's not your, I guess it's more left side of Judaism, and lo and behold, you start seeing the posters about the captives and that this attitude, bring them back at all costs, even if it is basically suicidal, is, I guess, it is the current thing, as they say. They've been given their programming, they're not thinking about this, and it's becoming a mitzvah. It is a darn shame that we're seeing that is what's guiding people.